Warren used to say that when he woke up in the morning, he read the sports page first. Because on the sports page, he read about people's accomplishments. And unfortunately, on the news pages, we often chronicle people's failures. So it is with great pride that our newspapers, New England newspapers, host you all at this event, welcome you all to come here. We have a chance to celebrate the achievements of so many wonderful young people. It is just a great night for us all, and I hope it's a great night for Bennington County. It's my job not only to welcome you, but I get to say thank you to a lot of people. And anyone who's ever done this or been in events like this knows there's an awful lot of thank yous. And so I'm going to irritate a lot of people who work for New England newspapers. I'm not going to mention any of their names. But they're here, they're all over the place, and they've worked really, really, really hard to make this happen. And I am thoroughly grateful for the effort everyone has expended, well above and beyond the call of duty. But more important, we have some sponsors here tonight. And without the sponsors, we couldn't have this event. Our sponsors, first, are Bennington College. We're here at Bennington College, and when we conceived this notion of having an all-star event, I got to meet President Silver 2 years ago, or more than 2 years ago, and she was extremely supportive, and Bennington College has been extremely supportive of this event every year, and we hope that they will continue to be that supportive after she leaves and moves on to the foundation in New York. Also, and equally important, and has been with us just as long, is Southwestern Vermont Medical Center. Of course, when they started, they were Southwestern Vermont Healthcare. But they've gotten bigger and stronger over the last 3 years, and we are really, really grateful for their support. And again, without them, we could not do this. You want to hear from one of the docs at Southwestern Vermont Medical Center speak very shortly. Someone who's equipped to speak here tonight because she practices sports medicine. And finally, Bennington Subaru. Subaru, the New England solution, right? They've been here with us every year. And again, we are thoroughly grateful to them for leading with their checkbook, helping us celebrate the achievements of so many wonderful young people. So a real shout out and a thank you to these great sponsors of tonight's evening. In addition to the sponsors, we have a bunch of table sponsors. They're listed on the screen to my left, your right. And again, we need their help, and we appreciate their help. And they're here for you 12 months of the year, 52 weeks a year, supporting all the good things that happen in our community. We also have a couple of dignitaries here tonight, 2 state representatives from either end of the area and either end of the seniority spectrum. At the junior end, we've got Representative Dave Durfee of Bennington County, and at the more senior end of the seniority, we have Representative Mary Morrison of Bennington. And I give them a big shout out for coming here. Now, it's my job to introduce, you have an MC for the evening, Alice Brown Malinowski. Now, she's lived in Bennington with her family since 1997. She got into running at age 39. And if you look at her, that wasn't last year, but it looks like it. And she has done triathlons and marathons, and proving that you can accomplish your goals at any age. After working, raising 4 children, she decided to realize her dream of helping people lead a healthy, happy, and fulfilling life. So she founded in 2012 Options Health and Fitness, a health club offering group dance fitness, bar classes, strength training, and more for all ages. In addition to operating Options Health and Fitness, she's a certified health coach and heads up the local outdoor recreation group, Training for More. And through TFM, she has coached literally hundreds of local women training for races from as short as 5K up through including marathons, as well as group activities, including hiking, biking, riding, snowshoeing, and more. And then last August, Andrea was excited to join Rise Vermont when she transitioned from being a health club owner to the program manager for Bennington. And now she's an employee of Southwestern Vermont Medical Center. She supports communities in embracing healthy lifestyles, and she inspires Vermonters of all ages to have fun, play more, eat well, and feel good. What could be better than that? She does this by working with individuals, employers, groups, schools, child care providers, and municipalities to make the healthy choice the easy choice. So it's with great pride and thanks I introduce to you Andrea Brown Malinowski.
Good evening. Thank you for that nice introduction, Fred, and thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here. As Fred explained, I'm really passionate about health and wellness, not only for myself and my family, but in the community. It's my extreme honor and pleasure to be your MC for this momentous occasion honoring so many amazing athletes. The mission of Rise Vermont is to help Vermonters embrace healthy lifestyles where they live, work, learn, and play, and to help create a healthy landscape and a culture of health across all sectors. The honorees tonight are living examples of healthy choices, which in turn impact the choices of their family and friends around them. Most importantly, they are now role models for our up-and-coming young people. Additionally, as a result of their physical activity, evidence indicates brain function is positively impacted. Many of these tri-season athletes are also in top standing academically in their classes. On behalf of Rise Vermont, I'd like to thank them for being shining examples of healthy living in the community and encourage them to continue pressing forward. So before we begin honoring our athletes, we do have a few speakers. First, we had a little fun conversation, Dr. Gutman and myself, before we started tonight, that I apologize ahead of time, A, for not pronouncing the school of her, where she graduated properly, because I'm not quite fluent in my Spanish dialect. And as well, if I mispronounce any names this evening, please correct me, I'll do my best. So speaking on behalf of Southwestern Vermont Medical Center, we'd like to welcome Dr. Yvette Gutman, being with the hospital as one of tonight's sponsors. Dr. Yvette Gutman is a highly experienced sports medicine specialist working with Southwestern Vermont Medical Center Orthopedics and Dartmouth Hitchcock Putnam Physicians. She earned her medical degree at Universidad de Centro America in Costa Rica and completed the pediatric residency training program at San Juan City Hospital in Puerto Rico in 2012. In addition, she completed fellowship training in primary care sports medicine at Albany Medical Center in New York in 2013. She earned her bachelor's degree in biology from Florida State. She is board certified by the American Board for both pediatrics and primary care sports medicine. In addition, Dr. Gutman played professionally as a record-breaking quarterback for the Independent Women's Football League Orlando Stars and was captain of the Orlando Mayhem from 2001 to 2004. At the amateur level, she has participated in adventure races, basketball, mountain and road cycling, snowboarding, tennis, and volleyball. She was the team physician at the University of Miami Athletic Department and has provided medical coverage for the New York Giants training camp and for Siena College, Lake Placid Ironman, Florida Ironman, and a multitude of other triathlons. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Gutman.
Thank you, Andrea. And hello, everyone. I see a couple of familiar faces out there. Hi, hope everybody's doing okay. I'll try not to bore you, but I first do want to congratulate all of you for being here. You've obviously achieved greatness in your sport, and that's something to be proud of. I, as well, sat where you guys are sitting, and you got a long way to go and a bright, bright future and lots of new adventures. So I would also like to take a moment and thank SVHC, one, for hiring me, and two, for sponsoring such a wonderful event. I think it's very important to give back to the community and to be, contributory to that, I think is quite important. Just a show of hands, who wants me to give my speech in English and who wants me to give it in Spanish? Okay. All right. So the short story is really a long story here, okay? And what I want to kind of instill in you guys as athletes, okay? So in high school, Andrea stole my thunder a little bit, so some of this might be a little repetitious. But I did. I played volleyball, basketball, and softball, and at the varsity level as a freshman, broke a lot of records, made a lot of accolades, and when I decided to go into college, my father was actually diagnosed with cancer. I turned down a softball scholarship in Boston to stay home and near him. Now, I don't regret this decision, and I'm not telling you all this to make you sad on such a great day to celebrate you all as outstanding athletes in the community, but I'm telling you this to let you know a little bit of truth, that life is not easy, and it doesn't get any easier, but you do get stronger. I finished college playing intramural sports throughout and proceeded to medical school. When I graduated there, I heard something about women's professional football. And I was thinking, like, flag football, because I'm not really interested in that. And they were like, no, like, really, like women's professional football. I was like that lingerie football that they play in halftime at the Super Bowl, because I'm not really interested. And when I found out it was real football, real pads, real hits, a full field, real rules, everything except a smaller football, because we use the college football. Obviously, women have smaller hands, and that was really the only thing that changed. I was all in. So I took 3 years and played with that organization and had a grand old time. Traveled to many different states and met a lot of women athletes, moms, grandmothers, high schoolers. They had to be 18 or over. A lot of college players that had their own story as to what brought them to women's professional football and their journey, not just in life, but in athletics. And I think that they're not necessarily independent of each other. During one of the years, I dislocated my right hip. That's another story, but pretty much I got blindsided by a 320-pound O-lineman. Anyways, but I did tell you life wasn't always easy. So that didn't stop me. Granted, it slowed me down, but it gave me a bigger goal to achieve, another comeback in sport and in life. See, sports taught me many life lessons that I truly believe you may have never learned otherwise, lessons you will need in life, lessons I'm sure you have all learned, you just haven't realized it yet. On your best days, as an athlete, you learn confidence. On your worst, you learn persistence, to never give up, to keep going, to keep practicing. You fall down, you get right back up, again and again and again. Before you know it, you are succeeding in not just sports, but life. I think Hitch said it best when he said, "Do you know what the definition of persistence is? It's continuing in a course of action without regard to discouragement, opposition, or previous failure. Be persistent." So I kept going. I recovered, came back to play my final season, set a record in par with Nick Foles and Peyton Manning for 7 passing touchdowns in a single game, And then I hung up my cleats, answering my mother's prayer to get a real job. So I began residency. I did my fellowship in Albany, as Andrea said. I did work with the Giants and learned a lot of great things there. And I did work with all the collegiate athletes at the University of Miami for several years. And I've seen some pretty bad injuries and some pretty inspirational comebacks. I can tell you, attitude is everything, so pick a good one. Use the guidance your parents have instilled in you, and remember, confidence is silent and insecurity is loud, and you can create who you want to be. So, be great, be humble, be you. Go get 'em, enjoy your journey, and congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Gutman. So I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker, Keith Willis, who will actually be speaking later, but we'd like to tell you a little bit about him, as he will be welcoming and congratulating all of the athletes as they receive their awards tonight. And thank you, Keith, for joining us. Keith is a former high school All-American two-sport athlete. He played football and basketball at Virginia Tech. Following collegiate sports, Keith played in the NFL with the Green Bay Packers, Cleveland Browns, Seattle Seahawks, Denver Broncos, and Kansas City Chiefs. He won the World Bowl Championship in 2006 with the Frankfurt Galaxy while playing in NFL Europe. Keith has a BS in Human Nutrition Foods and Exercise and an MS in Health Promotion from Virginia Tech. Keith is the CEO and founder of Moss Movement and is responsible for leading the creation of innovative and informative business development strategies. To this end, he works closely with the Moss Advisory Board and Moss Partnership organizations to launch cutting-edge life skills programming for student athletes across the nation. With over 15 years of experience structuring teams and creating revenue streams in athletics, education, and technology, Keith is pushing Moss forward to fill the curriculum gap in athleticism life skills education. Keith is also now a prolific speaker that travels around the country, inspiring the masses to help them become the best versions of themselves. From running his fitness company, Untapped Fitness, to now coaching in life and business, he is motivated to help individuals identify and achieve their full potential. He inspires people to live a purpose-driven life. Keith's heart for service, especially for youth, has never been more evident than what he does every year in his Friday to Saturday program. Through this program, Keith helps young men develop into collegiate prospects and helps them attain opportunities to further their education through the game of football. He has assisted over 40 young men transition into collegiate student athletes over the last 5 years. And I present Keith Willis. Thank you. So we'll hear a little bit more from Keith later. So a little bit logistically how this evening will run is I will call up a group of athletes and ask them to join us up front, and then as their name is announced and their bio is read, they will cross the stage, and as they're taking their picture with Keith, we will begin with the next athlete. So feel free to applaud their efforts as they're announced and walking across, but as soon as they're doing their picture, in an effort to not leave tonight at midnight, we will continue announcing the recipients. So first up will be fall sports, boys and girls soccer. If you would please come forward. Yep. May I also have the football awardees? So while we're waiting for everyone to get settled, when Sue called me and asked me to be the MC of this evening, I was excited and honored, and I said, sure. And then I was thinking, why? Why me? And I'm so excited about health and wellness in the community. I'm a runner, but that's about it with sports. So if I misread or mispronounce stats or how they're supposed to be read, I truly apologize. But I'm really excited to be here and appreciate all of the efforts of all of the athletes. So for football, most valuable player, Tommy English, Cambridge. Tommy did it all for the Indians in 2018, helping the team to a 10-1 record and a state quarterfinal appearance in Class C, returning to the state playoffs for the third straight season. He racked up 2,282 all-purpose yards and 27 total touchdowns, scoring 4 different ways this season. Most of that total came from the backfield, where Tommy rushed for 1,527 yards and 23 touchdowns, averaging 10 yards per touch. He added 234 yards and a pair of touchdowns receiving, but also came through on special teams with 208 kick return yards and a touchdown and 263 punt return yards and a touchdown, averaging 20 yards per return. Offensive Player of the Year, Joey McCoy of Burr and Burton. Led the Bulldogs to their second title in the past 4 years back in November. Joey was the quarterback for a Bulldogs squad that went 10-1 in 2018, scoring more than 40 points per game. He threw for about 2,000 yards with 24 touchdown passes in 11 games. But he also ran for more than 500 yards and 11 touchdowns on the year. In BBA's 63-14 win over Fairhaven in the state title game, he had a hand in 7 touchdowns, 4 through the air and 3 on the ground. For his efforts under center, Joey was chosen as a second-team All-State quarterback. Defensive Player of the Year, Jordan Dean of Cambridge, led the way on the defensive side of the ball for the Indians, who went 10-1, falling in the New York State Class C quarterfinals to Ogdensburg. He racked up 132 tackles at the linebacker spot, averaging 11 stops a game for Cambridge. Jordan was second on the team with 3 sacks as well, leading an Indians defense that allowed 13.3 points per game. Our next recipient is not here this evening, but I'll still read. Coach of the Year, Jason Thomas of Burr and Burton, led BBA to its second Vermont Division II state championship and third title game in 4 seasons in 2018. The Bulldogs finished 10-1 and won in dominant fashion over Fairhaven in November. Under his guidance, BBA featured a relentless offensive attack that scored more than 40 points in every game except one, and a tough defense that allowed fewer than 12 points a contest. Since he became coach in 2008, Jason led the Bulldogs to a 79-31 record, including 38-4 in the past 4 years. Boys soccer. Most valuable player, David Charlton of Mount Anthony, who's not here this evening. David was the top scorer on an MAU team that finished the season at 7-8. The Spanish exchange student scored 23 of the 47 goals for the Patriots this past fall. He had his best 2 games against rival Burren-Burton and Fairhaven, when he had 4 goals in each game. Offensive Player of the Year, Lewis Whalen of Arlington, scored the state championship winning goal in overtime of a 1-0 victory over West Rutland, giving the Arlington boys its first title since 1995. For the season, the sophomore racked up 10 goals and had 3 games with multiple tallies. When the games got the biggest, that's where Lewis shined. Half of his goals came during Arlington's playoff run to the title. Also not here this evening, Defensive Player of the Year, Aiden Francombe of Burren-Burton, was a defensive leader for a BBA team that went 9-6 this past fall. In BBA's final 7 games, they allowed a total of 3 goals, winning 6 of those 7 games. Coach of the Year, Todd Wilkins of the Arlington Boys, led Arlington to its first state championship in 23 years as the Eagles went 11-6 and topped West Rutland 1-0 in overtime in the Division IV championship game. Arlington didn't allow any goals in its 3 playoff contests. Girls soccer. Most valuable player, Tess Belknap of Arlington, once again was a dominant force for Arlington this past fall. She scored 37 of the Eagles' 68 goals, including 3 goals in the Division IV state championship to help Arlington win back-to-back titles. She had 8 games where she scored 3 or more goals, including a 5-goal effort against Black River. For her career, Tess has more than 100 goals. She was recently named the Gatorade Player of the Year for Vermont. Tess, the salutatorian of the senior class, will play soccer at Williams College. Offensive Player of the Year, Jordan Madison of Mount Anthony, was the top scorer for an MAU squad that went 10-6 in 2018. She scored 16 goals and added goals in both of the Patriots' playoff contests. She had 4 games where she scored 2 goals, all of which were wins. Jordan also hit a pair of penalty kicks and a playdown victory over Rutland. Defensive Player of the Year, Lila Ward of Arlington, was the defensive anchor as a sweeper for the Arlington defense in 2018. As a team, the Eagles allowed just 11 goals in 17 contests, with Lila as a leader on the back line, along with goalkeeper Shayna Staub. And lastly, also not here this evening, Coach of the Year, Aaron Wood of Arlington, is 2 for 2 in state championships as he led Arlington to its 2nd consecutive Division IV state championship in 2018, finishing the job with a 3-0 win against rival Proctor. Under his watch, the Eagles had a plus 56 goal differential. One of his players, Tess Belknap, earned the Vermont Gatorade Player of the Year honor. At this time, I'd like to invite the field hockey, cross country, volleyball, and golf athletes forward. For field hockey, Offensive Player of the Year, Lillian Hickey of Hoosick Falls, was a scoring machine for the Panthers, who won the Section 2 Class C title and made it all the way to the New York State Final Four. She scored 35 goals, averaging nearly 2 goals per game. She was a 5-year varsity player and earned league first-team honors for her play. This is her second consecutive year of receiving the Offensive Player of the Year honor. The Panthers finished the year 20-1. Lillian also signed a national letter of intent this fall to attend and play field hockey at the University of Albany. Defensive Player of the Year, Hannah Callan of Burr & Burton, was the rock in the cage for the Bulldogs this fall, helping them reach the Division II final for the first time since 2005. During the season, she racked up 6 shutouts and had another 3 games where she only allowed a single goal. In the playoffs, she went through the quarterfinal and semifinal unscored upon before BBA lost 3-2 in overtime to Mount Abraham at UVM. Coach of the Year, Barb Maselli of Burr & Burton. After starting the season 1-3, the Bulldogs ran off 6 straight wins and went into the Division II tournament as the number 2 seed. Under Barb's watch, BBA had a pair of shutouts in the Division II playoffs before falling to Mount Abraham 3-2 in overtime in the state title game at UVM. BBA finished the season at 10-6-1. Cross country. Boys Cross Country Athlete of the Year, Evan Page of Mount Anthony. Finished out a strong high school cross country career with another great effort in 2018. He finished second in MAU's home race in mid-September. He finished 4th in the 3-mile race at the Greenwich Invitational. At the Division I state championships, Evan was the top finisher for MAU, taking 14th place in the 5,000-meter race. This is his 3rd consecutive year receiving the honor as the Cross Country Athlete of the Year. Girls Cross Country Co-Athlete of the Year, Sarah Umflett, was once again a top performer for MAU on the trails. She was a 2nd-place finisher in the Patriots' home race in mid-September. She finished 8th in the Marble Valley League meet. Sarah took 16th in the 3-mile at the Greenwich Invitational. At the Division I state championships, she was the top Patriot finisher in the 5,000-meter race, placing 25th. This is her 3rd consecutive year receiving the Cross Country Athlete of the Year honor. Girls Cross Country Co-Athlete of the Year, Liara Foley of Burr & Burton, had a strong freshman season for Burr & Burton on the trails. She finished 6th in the Marble Valley League meet. She took 3rd place in a meet on the road at Willow Park, hosted by MAU, and was 1st place in a race in Rutland in early September. Volleyball Player of the Year, Carly Bailina of Mount Anthony, was one of the senior leaders on the Mount Anthony girls volleyball team this fall. She consistently racked up the most assists in matches for MAU. She had 8 assists against Wacona and Mount Everett and 6 against South Burlington and Monument Mountain. Carly had 8 digs against Pittsfield and 6 against Mount Everett. Boys Golfer of the Year, Ryan Bloomer of Hoosick Falls, was one of the top golfers in Section 2 again in 2018, shooting a 75 at the sectional championship at McGregor Links to win the individual low medalist. He parlayed that performance in another appearance this summer in the state championships in Ithaca, New York. Bloomer led his team to a 12-2 record and a tie for the Wasserman League Championship with Spa Catholic and Greenwich. Also this year, Bloomer had a milestone moment when he sank his first hole-in-one in school competition, getting an ace on the 7th hole at the Hoosick Falls Country Club against Mechanicville. Not with us this evening is Girls Golfer of the Year, Julia Dupron of Burr and Burton, who finished off her high school career in style with a 3rd individual Vermont State Championship, shooting an 80, 10 shots better than anyone else in the field. She helped the BBA team to a runner-up finish in Division II this season. She qualified for the New England Golf Championships in Keene, New Hampshire. Julia is competing in the 2019 High School Golf National Invitational at Walt Disney World this week as one of 120 invitees to play. She signed to play her college golf at Stonehill College. At this time, I'd like to invite Adam O'Coin up to award some of our special awards.
Good evening, guys. First off, I want to say thank you for all coming out to this event. It means a lot. We put a lot of effort into this event, so we really appreciate your support. So to starting off, I'm going to read off some of our special awards. Our first one is for Unsung Hero, starting on the girls' side. Our first Unsung Hero goes to an athlete who played 3 sports at Mount Anthony this year. She wasn't one to always fill up the stat sheet in her 3 sports, but was always the person that was giving maximum effort for her team. On the soccer pitch, you could see her as a key defender for a Patriots team that showed a ton of improvement throughout its season. And on the basketball court, you could see her playing on the block at most times, defending the team's best post player, and did a great job at every turn. With a lacrosse stick in her hand, she was a consummate defender for MAU for her whole career at Mount Anthony, consistently slowing down opponents' attacks. Our first unsung hero is Mount Anthony's Sam White. All right. So moving to our second unsung hero on the boys' side, he was the ultimate competitor for Arlington across his 4 sports. On the soccer field, he consistently marked the opponent's best offensive player. On the basketball court, he was a consistent threat to knock down a 3 for Arlington and was always taking the big shot for the Eagles. On the baseball diamond, you could catch him striking out batters like it was literally his life depended on it, and he also played golf for the Eagles, firing an 82 at the state championship at the Country Club of Vermont. But most of all, with his infectious personality, he was bringing joy to his teammates. Our second unsung hero is Arlington's Jack Lane. And receiving his award tonight is his mother, Kate Bryan. All right. So moving to our sixth man award. Our sixth man award goes to a Mount Anthony athlete who played 3 sports this year at MAU. Despite being undersized, he played a crucial role on both sides of the ball as a linebacker and offensive lineman for football. On the wrestling mat, he was a state champion and helped MAU to their 31st straight state title. And on the lacrosse field, he was an all-out effort kind of player and a great defender for the Patriots. Our sixth man is Mount Anthony's Chris Mayer. And lastly, our sixth woman award. So our sixth woman award goes to somebody who's just as impressive on the field as she is off of it. On the soccer pitch, you could see her in the midfield doing whatever her team needed, whether it was scoring or setting up teammates or crucial defensive play. On the basketball court, she was the ultimate role player, hitting some big threes and playing great defense on the other end for a Hoosick Falls team that went to the state sectional championship game this year. On the lacrosse field, her senior leadership showed through whenever she was on the field. And off the field, she was one of 2 Section 2 representatives on the Student Athlete Advisory Committee while finishing 6th in her graduating class. Our 6th woman is Hoosick Falls' Grace Wysocki. All right, and I'm going to hand it back over to Andrea now.
How's everybody doing out there? All right. I know it's tough to sit for so long, so at any time, like maybe midway, we'll have you stand up and you can put your arms in the air and move around a little bit, wake yourselves up. So at this time, we'd like to invite the Winter Sports Boys and Girls Basketball awardees to come forward. I'd like to give a shout out to Bringing You Vermont Catering for tonight's dinner as well. For boys basketball, boys' most valuable player, John Kemp of Hoosick Falls, was the top scoring option for a Hoosick Falls boys basketball team that went 21-2 and made it all the way to the Class C sectional championship game before falling to Lake George. He averaged 21.8 points per game on the year and got his points in many different ways, whether it be from driving to the basket, hitting the three-point shot, or his stellar shooting from the foul line. He had his best game of the year during a sectional tournament against Canajoharie, where he scored a career-high 41 points. John became the 4th player in program history to score 1,000 points in their career and was named the Wasserman League Most Valuable Player and to the Class C All-State 5th team at season's end. Not here this evening is the boys' Offensive Player of the Year, Jake Nicholson of Burr & Burton, who was the top scoring threat for a Burr & Burton boys basketball team that went 14-8 this past winter. He averaged 15.6 points per game and had 5 games with 20 or more points this year, including a 30-point output against Woodstock. He competed in the North-South Senior All-Star Game, along with his teammates Will Frank and Patrick Fortsman. At season's end, Jake was named as a Marble Valley League First Team All-Star. Boys Defensive Player of the Year, Dimitri Rose of Hoosick Falls, was one of the best defenders on a Hoosick Falls boys basketball team that went 21-2 and made it to the Class C sectional championship game where they lost to Lake George. He was a constant presence on the defensive end of the floor, causing steals, and was great at getting the ball out in transition off those steals. Routinely, he was tasked with guarding the opposing team's top offensive threat, and one of his best defensive efforts came in the sectional semifinals when he kept Maple Hill's Nate Mannion in check offensively, despite being 8 inches shorter than the Wildcat center. He was a Wastron League honorable mention at season's end. Boys Coach of the Year, Mike Lilac of Hoosick Falls, continued his storied career on the sidelines for the Hoosick Falls boys basketball team with another top-notch season for the team. He led the Panthers to a 21-2 record and to the Class C sectional championship game where they fell to Lake George. Late in the year, he had to deal with the loss of starting center and major scoring threat Tristan Williams, and still saw his team reach the same level they did in last year's sectional tournament. Under his watch, John Kempf was named the Wastron League MVP and was a Class C fifth-team All-State selection. Girls basketball. Most valuable player, Logan Thane of Hoosick Falls, continued to prove herself as one of the top players in the area with a stellar junior season for the Hoosick Falls girls basketball team that made it to the Class C sectional title game where they lost to eventual state champion Cambridge. She averaged 23.3 points per game this year, which was one of the best in Section 2. On top of that, she was a presence on the boards and in blocking opponents' shots. During the season, she reached 1,000 points for her Hoosick Falls career and is on pace to challenge the program's all-time mark next winter. Logan was a first-team Wastron League All-Star and has committed to play at Division I University of Albany in 2020. Girls Offensive Player of the Year, Sophie Phillips of Cambridge, was the top offensive threat at the point guard position for a Cambridge girls basketball team that went 25-1 and won its first Class C state championship in program history. She averaged 17.4 points per game, along with her strong ability to distribute the ball and be a presence in the rebound game. She was at her best in crucial moments, as during the Indians' 8-game playoff run, she scored 20 or more points in 6 games. Sophie was named the MVP in both the Wastron League and the Class C tournament. Just a sophomore, she has already received Division I offers to play basketball in college. Girls Defensive Player of the Year, Lily Phillips of Cambridge, was one of the defensive leaders for a Cambridge girls basketball team that went 25-1 and won its first Class C state championship in program history. With her long arms and length on the defensive end, she and her sister Sophie were the catalysts for a relentless Indians defense that constantly caused chaos and turnovers for opposition. She was a crucial reason Cambridge allowed just 38 points per game this winter, and she was strong offensively as well, averaging 15.3 points per game. Sophie was named to the Class C all-tournament team and was a Wastron League first-team selection. Just a sophomore, she has already received a Division I offer to play basketball in college. Girls Coach of the Year, Bob Phillips of Cambridge. In his first season as head coach, Bob led the Cambridge girls basketball team that went 25-1 and won its first Class C state championship in program history. After moving up from being the assistant coach on the 2017-18 team that made it to the state semifinals, he filled the head role seamlessly and led a group of mostly underclassmen to heights the program had never seen before. Bob led an Indian squad that averaged more than 60 points per game and only allowed 38 points a game to their opponents. Under his watch, both of his daughters, Sophie and Lily, were named to the Class C All-Tournament team and were both Wasserman League All-Star selections. We'd now like to have the wrestling, bowling, and ice hockey athletes. Wrestling. Lower weight wrestler of the year, Keenan Taylor of Mount Anthony, had a standout senior season for the MAU wrestling team, capped off by a strong effort at nationals where he won a pair of matches. At the New England Regional Tournament, he picked up his 200th career win, the 10th in program history to do that, and came up just one match short of placing. He picked up his third state championship at the 138-pound weight class, playing an integral role in the Patriots' 31st consecutive team state title. At season's end, Keenan was named a Marble Valley League All-Star. Middleweight Wrestler of the Year, Keegan Kuhn of Mount Anthony, continued to build upon a strong career with the MAU wrestling team and capped off his junior season with a strong effort at nationals, where he won a pair of matches. He improved upon his 6th place finish at the New England Regional Tournament by placing 5th this year. At the Vermont State Tournament, he repeated as state champion at the 145-pound weight class, playing a critical role in the Patriots' 31st consecutive state championship. At season's end, Keegan was named a Marble Valley League All-Star. Heavyweight Wrestler of the Year, Craig Sawyer of Hoosick Falls, was one of 3 Hoosick Falls wrestlers to compete in the New York State Tournament, placing 3rd at the 285-pound weight class. He finished the year with a 39-2 record and became the first Panther to place at states since Louis Weyerbach won the 106-pound class in 2013. He qualified for the New York State Tournament by winning the Section 2 Division II crown at the Cool Insuring Arena. Coach of the Year, Brian Kuhn of Mount Anthony, led the MAU wrestling team to its 31st consecutive Vermont State Championship during the 2018-19 winter season. Under his watch, 7 Patriot wrestlers won individual state championships at the Vermont State Tournament. He led MAU to a 10th place finish at the New England Regional Meet, with multiple wrestlers placing for the Patriots. One of his varsity wrestlers, Sam Wilkins, placed at the national tournament in Virginia Beach. Bowler of the Year, Megan Backus of Hoosick Falls, was one of the top bowlers on a Panthers team that was dominant throughout the 2018-19 season. She was one of a handful of Hoosick Falls bowlers with an average of more than 200 points per game. Heading into the league tournament, she had an average game score of 214.9, best for the Panthers. She had a high game of 238 and a series score of 671 in the Adirondack League tournament. In ice hockey, Boys Offensive Player of the Year, Jacob Mulak of Burr & Burton, was one of the top offensive threats for BBA this past winter. He was second in goals this season for the Bulldogs with 14 tallies, and he was fourth in assists with 5. Jacob had multiple multi-score games, with one of those coming in a 6-1 win against U32, where he had 2 goals and an assist. The Bulldogs finished 11-11 and lost to Colchester in the Division II quarterfinals. Boys Defensive Player of the Year, Owen King of Burr & Burton, was a senior leader for BBA this winter and one of 3 seniors on the roster. He was a great defender for the Bulldogs and kept pressure off of the BBA goalie, Ethan Simmons. He was a solid offensive threat as well, racking up 4 goals and 4 assists on the year. Owen was chosen to represent BBA in the Vermont All-Star Classic in March. Girls Offensive Player of the Year, Stella Turner of Burr & Burton, built upon a breakout freshman season with another stellar effort this past winter. She scored 15 goals and had 5 assists in 19 games for BBA. One of her best efforts of the year came against CVU, where she had 4 goals. She also had a hat trick against Missisquoi late in the season. She was a Marble Valley League second-team selection in Tier 3 at season's end. Girls Defensive Player of the Year, Lola Herzog of Burr & Burton, is just in her 2nd season playing hockey. Lola continued to prove herself as one of the best goaltenders in the state. The sophomore faced 412 shots this year and made 369 saves, a 90% save percentage. She had one of her best games in a losing effort against Rice with 43 saves. BBA went 10-9-2 and lost to Woodstock in the first round of the playoffs. Lola was a Marble Valley League second-team selection in Tier 3 at season's end. I'd now like to invite indoor track, swimming, and Nordic skiing to come forward. Boys Indoor Track Athlete of the Year, Cooper Mason of Mount Anthony, had a strong senior season for the MAU boys track team. At the New England meet, he had his 2nd best time of the season in hurdles and was part of the 4x400 relay team that took 6 seconds off their personal record. At the Vermont State meet, Cooper finished 2nd in the 55-meter hurdles, finishing the race in 8.96 seconds. In MAU's first meet of the season, he finished 4th in the triple jump and hurdles. Girls Indoor Track Athlete of the Year, Rebecca Crozier of Mount Anthony, etched her name in the MAU record books, breaking multiple records this past winter. Just this season, she set school records in the triple jump, long jump, and pole vault, and broke her own marks multiple times. Those add to the outdoor decathlon record she previously held. In the Division I state championships, she won 3 state titles, taking first in 55-meter, 300-meter, and long jump. At that meet, she anchored the 4x200 relay that finished 4th in the meet and qualified for the New Englands. Crozier was chosen for this same gala honor last year as well. Girls Nordic Skier of the Year, Natalie Jelly of Mount Anthony, was a crucial piece in the Mount Anthony girls Nordic skiing team, winning the Marble Valley League Championship. At the Vermont State Championships, she finished 3rd in the individual classic race and helped her relay team to a 3rd-place finish as well. In the freestyle race, she was a 4th-place finisher. She helped Vermont to win in the Eastern Championships with 3 top 15 finishes throughout the weekend. Natalie was named an MVL All-Star at season's end. Co-Boys Nordic Skier of the Year, Noah Payne of Mount Anthony, played a crucial role in the Mount Anthony boys Nordic skiing team, winning its first Vermont State Championship since 2010. In the relay that decided the state title, he anchored the MAU group as he skied the last leg in 9 minutes, 4.2 seconds, giving the Patriots a comfortable win over Brattleboro. He finished 6th in the individual race that day and was 3rd in the freestyle race the week before. Noah helped the Vermont team to a win in the Eastern Championships as one of the 4 MAU skiers to compete. Co-Boys Nordic Skier of the Year, Jack Drew of Mount Anthony, was critical to the Mount Anthony boys Nordic skiing team winning its first Vermont State Championship since 2010. He led off the relay that clinched the state title for MAU with a 9-minute, 28.4-second run. In the individual race that day, Jack was the highest finishing Patriot in 4th. He also finished 4th in the freestyle race. He helped Vermont to win in the Eastern Championships with 2 top 15 finishes during the event. Jack was named an MVL All-Star at season's end. Co-Girls Swimmer of the Year, Savannah Robeson of Mount Anthony, was a captain and senior leader for the MAU swim team this winter. On senior night, she was part of the relay team that cruised to an almost 11-second win in the 200 free relay against New Lebanon. In a pair of wins against Taconic, she was the winner in the 200 IM, along with wins in the 100 back and breaststroke in December. Co-Girls Swimmer of the Year, Lily Spencer, swam for Mount Anthony and is a Burr and Burton student. She had a strong senior season for MAU in the pool. She had a great showing on senior night when she helped the Patriots to multiple wins. She was part of the winning 200 medley relay team and 400 free relay and was an individual winner in the 100 breaststroke. Lily won a pair of races, the 200 individual medley and 100 breaststroke, in a win against Taconic. She won a pair of races in a win against Wacona as well, taking the 200 free and 100 breaststroke. Co-Boys Swimmer of the Year, Ben Medvedev of Mount Anthony, was one of the top performing MAU swimmers on the boys' side. He was a winner in events across the board throughout the season and had one of his best performances on senior night when he won 4 events. In that meet, Ben was a winner in the 200 free relay, 200 medley relay, 400 free relay, and 50 free. At season's end, he earned all Berkshire League honors in the 400 free relay. Co-Boys Swimmer of the Year is Devin Dietz, swimming for Mount Anthony, who attends Burr & Burton. Devin was a major contributor on the MAU swim team this winter. He had a strong effort on senior night when the Patriots beat New Lebanon. During that home meet, Devin was part of the 200 medley relay team that easily won its race. He also won the 200 free on that afternoon. In a dominating win against Taconic, he won the 50 free and was a 100 free winner against Monument Mountain. One of his biggest moments of the season was when he filled in on the 400 relay for an ill teammate. He swam the first leg of the relay, and MAU won the race. At season's end, Devin earned all Berkshire League honors in the 400 free relay. I would now like to invite alpine, snowboarding, cheer, and dance to come forward. I like to talk, but this is a lot of talking. Wow. These students are great. Boys Alpine Skier of the Year, Blake Green of Burr & Burton, had a season for the ages for the Bulldogs in 2018-19. He was at the top of the podium for every race he ran, including a pair of individual victories at the state championships at Burke Mountain. At states, he won the giant slalom by 1.3 seconds and the slalom by almost 4 seconds. Blake was the champion in both disciplines at Southern Districts and scored victories in the Dave Pinder Memorial, the Rutland Meet, and BBA's home event at Bromley. Girls Alpine Skier of the Year, Annabelle Gray of Burr & Burton, is a freshman, and she had a strong rookie season on the slopes for the Bulldogs. She won the Bromley race in February on BBA's home course and finished top 5 in a handful of other races, including a second-place finish at the Dave Pinder Memorial, a 4th at Rutland, and a second-place finish in the giant slalom at Southern Districts. She proved she could handle both the slalom and giant slalom, scoring a 3rd-place finish in that event at Districts. Boys Snowboarder of the Year, Tucker Barabalt of Burr & Burton, was at or near the top of the podium throughout the season for the Bulldogs. He won the giant slalom and slope events at Bromley in January and February, along with a half-pipe win and second place at Okemo in 2 different events. He was second overall at states after winning the slopestyle and half-pipe events. Girls Snowboarder of the Year, Azura Booth Gage of Burr & Burton, helped the Bulldogs win the state championship this season with her consistent finishes. She was first in a pair of slopestyle events at Bromley and second in 2 giant slalom events also at Bromley. Overall, in the final season standings, she was tied for first in slopestyle, second in giant slalom, and tied for 3rd in the halfpipe. Azura was the winner of this award at last year's gala as well. Co-cheerleader of the year, Iris Patterson of Mount Anthony, was a senior leader on the Mount Anthony cheerleading team this past winter. She played a key role in MAU, finishing second in both Vermont meets and a 3rd-place finish at states for the 3rd year in a row. She helped the Patriots qualify for New England's for the 3rd straight season, where they finished 12th. Co-cheerleader of the year, Kyla Obenauer of Mount Anthony, was one of 2 seniors on the Mount Anthony cheerleading team this past winter. She was crucial in MAU finishing second in both Vermont meets and a 3rd-place finish at states for the 3rd year in a row. She helped the Patriots qualify for New England's for the 3rd straight season under MAU coach Jamie Capriola George. Co-dancer of the year, Savannah Rogers of Mount Anthony, was a captain on the Mount Anthony dance team this winter, having spent 4 seasons on the varsity roster. She helped the Patriots to their 3rd straight season of competing at the New England Regional Meet. She played a major role in MAU placing 3rd in Palm at the Vermont State Meet in Vergennes back in February. Co-dancer of the year, Marissa DeJesus of Mount Anthony, was a captain on the Mount Anthony dance team this winter, having multiple years of varsity experience. She helped the Patriots to their 3rd straight season of competing at the New England Regional Meet. She helped MAU to place 3rd in Palm at the Vermont State Meet in Vergennes in February. Co-dancer of the year, Brianna Murray of Mount Anthony, was one of 3 captains on the Mount Anthony dance team this winter, having multiple years of varsity experience. She played a big role in the Patriots competing at the New England Regional Meet for the 3rd straight season. She helped MAU to place 3rd in Palm at the Vermont State Meet in Vergennes in February. I would now like to welcome Adam Samrove to do some additional special awards.
Anybody that knows me knows I don't move that fast. All right. So the first 3 special awards that I have actually have a little bit of a story behind them. They are for 3 Stratton Mountain School students. This year, when trying to going through the awards, we were trying to figure out a way to match up, Stratton, who, they're training for the Olympics with the school, and obviously matching them up with the other schools. So we have 3 separate ones for that for Stratton Mountain, and the first one is a free skier, Mac Forehand. He's not here. Mac did something that only one other Stratton Mountain School student has ever done, winning the Crystal Globe and overall freestyle World Cup title, beating competitors of all ages. He had a dominant year on the slopes, racking up many 1st and 2nd place finishes in events. He won the World Cup slopestyle event at Mammoth Mountain in California and finished 2nd in slopestyle in Austria. Mac had many more top 5 finishes in events throughout the winter season. Our second Stratton Mountain Award goes to Nordic skier Charlotte Ogden. Charlotte had an amazing year competing for Stratton Mountain School. She competed at the 2019 Nations Cup in Estonia, where she finished 4th in the 1.3 kilometer sprint, which was the highest finish by an American in the race. Charlotte was also 3rd at Presque Isle, Maine in the 20 kilometer race, finishing in 1 hour, 1 minute, and 59 seconds. She also competed for Stratton in cross country in the fall. And our third and final Stratton Mountain Award winner is snowboarder TJ Fitzgerald. TJ was the top snowboarder for Stratton Mountain this winter. He finished 1st at the Rail Jam in the Vermont Open at Stratton, while taking 3rd in slopestyle as well. He had top finishes in the USASA Southern Vermont Series. He was 8th at the NORAM Cup at Waterville Valley, Maine in January, and 9th in snowboard cross at Copper Mountain in Colorado in March. He also competed at the Junior World Championships in Sweden. All right, our next award is the Helping Hands Award. Our Helping Hands Award winner is a 2002 graduate of Burton Academy. Along with being a coach for the past few seasons, this person has served his country for nearly 20 years, going on 2 tours with the Vermont National Guard to Kuwait and Afghanistan. He also spent 9 years with the 86th Infantry Brigade Combat Team. These days, our Helping Hand Award winner works as a recruiter for the Guard, giving kids locally another option after they leave high school. He's also been honored as part of Burton's Operation Hat Trick, a fundraiser that generates money and awareness for the recovery of wounded service members. Our Helping Hands Award winner this year is Burton boys hockey coach, Staff Sergeant Mark Slade. Unexpected. There you go. Congratulations. Our next special award is the Comeback Player of the Year. Coming into his senior season, our Comeback Player of the Year was set to make a huge impact for the Mount Anthony football team. Then, in the first quarter of their home opener, the MEU captain tore up his knee, ending his senior season almost before it began. After surgery, our Comeback Award winner worked throughout the winter with trainer Jeff Wood, going through rehab to make a return at some point in the spring for the lacrosse team. Soon after the lacrosse season began, he did come back, scoring his first goal against Brattleboro and ending the season with double-digit points. Our Comeback Player of the Year is Mount Anthony's Carson Morgan. Our next award is our Superfan Award. Our Superfan Award winner is someone who is a friendly face around the Arlington athletic program and has been for years. But it's one thing to just be there cheering on your school or alma mater. Our Superfan helps out as a ball guy during soccer seasons at Werner Field, and during the basketball season, he helps get the basketballs after warm-ups and always there to give Eagle players encouragement and a high five, win or lose. Back in 2015, something I found out recently, our Superfan was named as an honorary Arlington firefighter. Our Superfan this year is Arlington's Dustin Sherman. Congratulations. Our next award is the John and Judy Werner Courage Award. The award was named after the first year for longtime Arlington soccer coach John Werner, who passed away last March. Our award winner, in the middle of the night on January 6th, our Courage Award winner woke up to his house on fire. Along with the rest of the family, he got out uninjured, but the house was a total loss. He was able to stay with his grandparents, but the family lost almost everything. The only thing he owned were the clothes on his back. At the same time, he was in the middle of the wrestling season, trying to lead his team to a state and regional championship. Dealing with his personal tragedy, he never let it affect him on the mat. He won his 200th career match at the New England Tournament, becoming the 10th Mount Anthony Patriot to do so, and helped them win their 31st straight state championship. He finished his high school career 8th all times in win at Mount Anthony. Our Courage Award winner is Mount Anthony's Keenan Taylor. Our next two awards are new awards this year. A male scholar athlete Our male scholar athlete finished at the top of his class with a grade point average of 98.3. It's a radio frequency. He played 3 sports a year, football, wrestling, and baseball for every single year of his high school career. In wrestling, he reached 100 career wins, and in football, led his team to a victory in sectionals. In baseball, he hit leadoff for a team that reached the sectional final as a 13th seed this season. But his achievements off the field are even more impressive. He made the principals list all 4 years and was a member of both the National Junior Honor Society and the National Honor Society. He also did a lot of community service, helping build a shed for the youth football program and working at the Learning Center in Hoosick Falls. Our male scholar athlete will go to Hamilton College and play football this fall. I look forward to seeing what's going on there. The Male Scholar Athlete of the Year award goes to Sam Richard from Hoosick Falls. Had to sit all the way in the back, huh? There you go. Congratulations. Yep. Our female scholar athlete of the award. Our female scholar athlete was a tri-honor athlete all 4 years of high school, finishing in the top 10 of the Mount Anthony senior class. Like, they had 221 people, so that's crazy. She played basketball and lacrosse this season and was a top player in each, becoming a top 3-point shooter in the area during basketball, and finished second in scoring in lacrosse for the Patriots. Our female scholar athlete of the year is Mount Anthony's Caroline Musinski. I'm getting the hell out of here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I will bring Andrea back to the stage.
I was rather enjoying my break down there in the chair. So they tell me that everybody's hot. So we're going to move along the spring sports, and we're just going to have all the spring sports come up at once. All right, so if you played a spring sport, come on up. We'll begin with baseball. Most valuable player, John Morgantini of Burr-and-Burton, had a breakout year for the Burr-and-Burton baseball team in 2019. Hitting in the middle of the order, he hit over 500 for much of the season. He had many standout performances, with one of his best coming against rival MAU, where he went 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs. Along with his offense, John provided a great defensive play at first base for BBA. Offensive Player of the Year, Chandler Polk of Burr-and-Burton, remained as one of the best hitters in the Burr-and-Burton baseball team's lineup with a potent senior year. In a run rule win against MAU, he went 3 for 4 with 3 runs scored. Whether hitting in the middle of the order or in the number 2 spot, where he was moved partway through the season, he was always a multi-hit threat. Chandler was last gala's baseball MVP. Defensive Pitcher of the Year, Evan Webster of Hoosick Falls, was the go-to pitcher for the Hoosick Falls baseball team all season long. He turned into the Panthers' ace and stepped up in many crucial games. Against number 1 seed Chatham in the sectional tournament, he tossed a 3-hitter, and in a pitcher's duel with rival MAU, he threw a 5-hit shutout. Evan is a major piece of the Hoosick Falls bowling team as well. Coach of the Year, Mike Lilac of Hoosick Falls, led a Hoosick Falls baseball team that was seeded number 13 in the Class C sectional tournament all the way to the sectional title game, where they fell to number 2 seed and undefeated Fort Plain. With a team that lost a handful of crucial pieces to graduation, he led the Panthers to a better record than last year, finishing at 12-10. Pitching was a concern coming into the season, but under his watch, Evan turned into one of the most reliable pitchers in the area, and the pitching staff ended up being a strength. Softball. Most valuable player, Kat Worthington of Mount Anthony, was a potent hitter in the middle of the Mount Anthony softball team's lineup this season. Batting in the number 3 spot in the lineup, she was a constant threat for extra bases and home runs. Kat had many standout games throughout the season. Her best game of the year came against rival Burr & Burton, where she went 5 for 6 and hit for the cycle. Along with her strong offensive output, she played a great defensive at shortstop. Kat will attend Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in the fall. Offensive Player of the Year, Kiana Gothier of Mount Anthony, was a spark plug near the top of the Mount Anthony softball team's lineup in 2019. She was consistently getting on base, whether it be with hardliners or beating out her signature drag bunt. Her speed was a major asset on the base paths. She had good performances at the plate, with one of her best coming in a win against Rutland, where she went 3 for 5 with a double and RBI. Kiana is a 3-sport athlete, also competing in soccer and cheerleading. Defensive Player of the Year, Emily O'Brien of Mount Anthony, filled big shoes for the Mount Anthony softball team following a major graduation at pitcher. She more than proved herself as a crucial piece for MAU in the circle with many standout games. Her best outing of the year came against Otter Valley in early May, where she tossed a no-hitter, striking out 6 batters along the way. In a Division I playdown game against Mount Mansfield, she allowed only 3 hits. Emily is a 3-sport athlete, also playing volleyball and basketball. Coach of the Year, Jason DeCranian of Mount Anthony, took over the Mount Anthony softball team this year following a dominant era under former coach Katie Contrada. He led a team that lost a handful of crucial players to graduation last year to a 13-5 record and a trip to the state quarterfinals. After starting out at 1-2, he led the Patriots to winning streaks of 6 and 5 games respectively. Against teams from Vermont, MAU lost just 2 games all season long. In boys lacrosse, most valuable player, Jake Baker of Burr & Burton, was a senior leader for the Burr & Burton boys lacrosse team that made it to the Division I state championship game this spring. He was one of the top offensive threats for BBA and had many games throughout the year with 3 goals or more. Early in the season against rival MAU, Jake reached 100 goals for his high school career. Jake is a 3-sport athlete, also playing football and basketball. Offensive Player of the Year, Jeff Potter of Mount Anthony, was the top offensive threat for the Mount Anthony boys lacrosse team once again this spring. He scored at least 3 goals in most of the games he played. His best scoring output of the season was his 7-goal effort against LaSalle Institute. Jeff is also a 3-sport athlete, playing soccer and basketball. Defensive Player of the Year, Stephen Schmidt of Burr and Burton, was the defensive leader for the Burr and Burton boys lacrosse team that made it to the Division I state championship game this spring. With him as a key cog, BBA allowed just 6.7 goals per game. He could get the job done offensively too, reaching double-figure goals. At season's end, he was named a U.S. Lacrosse All-American and All-State selection. Stephen will play at Division I Mount St. Mary's in college. Coach of the Year, Tom Graber of Burr and Burton, led the Burr and Burton boys lacrosse team to a 16-4 record and made it to the Division I state championship game in just his second year at the helm. Under his watch, BBA ran off win streaks of 4 and 6 games respectively. Tom coached one of the most balanced offensive attacks in the state and a defense that allowed just 6.7 goals per game this spring. Girls lacrosse, most valuable player, Avery Galley of Mount Anthony, was once again the go-to player for the Mount Anthony girls lacrosse team in 2019. She scored 62 goals to lead all MAU players. She was especially strong late in the regular season, scoring 29 goals over the last 4 games of the year. At season's end, she was named an all-state selection. Avery will play her college lacrosse at Division II Southern New Hampshire University next spring. Co-Offensive Player of the Year, Olivia Watanabe of Burr and Burton, had a big senior season for the BBA girls lacrosse team that made it to the Division I state championship game. She had many standout performances throughout the season, with 2 of her best outings coming in 7-goal efforts against Woodstock and Middlebury. Olivia reached multiple milestones this year, getting to 100 career points and 100 career goals. At season's end, she was named a U.S. Lacrosse All-American and All-State selection. Co-Offensive Player of the Year, Lillian Hickey of Hoosick Falls, put the finishing touches on an outstanding high school career with the Hoosick Falls girls lacrosse team. She had many dominant performances throughout the season, with her best coming against Catholic Central, where she had 9 goals in a 12-6 win. Lillian reached 200 career goals this year and graduates as the program's all-time leading scorer by a healthy margin. Co-Defensive Player of the Year, Maddie Young of Hoosick Falls, finished off one of the best careers in goal for the Hoosick Falls girls lacrosse team this spring. She was a constant in goal throughout her high school career and served as a vocal leader for the Panthers' strong back line. Maddie passed 700 career saves this season for Hoosick Falls. Co-Defensive Player of the Year, Cassie Pierce of Burr and Burton, was a wall and net for the Burr and Burton girls lacrosse team this spring, helping lead them to an appearance in the Division I state championship game. For much of the season, she had a save percentage of well over 65%, and that total was even higher in the second half of games. In goal, she was the backbone of a BBA defense that held opponents under 10 goals 10 times in 2019. At season's end, she was named an all-state selection. Coach of the Year, Jamie Blake of Burr and Burton, in her second year at the helm of the Burr and Burton girls lacrosse team. Jamie led BBA to an appearance in the Division I state championship game. Under her watch, the Bulldogs had one of the best defenses and balanced offensive attacks in the state. Track and field. Boys Track Athlete of the Year, Jack Haynes of Mount Anthony, had a great junior season for the Mount Anthony track and field team in running events. He was 5th in the 200-meter dash at the Division I state championships and was first in the event multiple times throughout the year. Jack had multiple first-place finishes in the 100-meter and 4x100 relay as well. Girls Track Athlete of the Year, Mia Grigsby of Burr and Burton, had a great sophomore season for the Burr and Burton track and field team. She finished 2nd in the 100-meter dash at the Division II championships and helped her 4x100 relay team to a state championship in that event. Boys Co-Field Athlete of the Year, Will Frank of Burr and Burton, was unable to join us tonight. Congratulations to Will. Boys Co-Field Athlete of the Year, Gavin Johnson of Mount Anthony, had a great season in both field and running events for the Mount Anthony track and field team, but really shined in throwing events. He was 3rd in the javelin, his signature field event, at the Division I championships, while finishing 9th in a shot put at the event. Gavin had first place finishes, 1st in javelin, shot put, and discus at different meets throughout the year. He is a 3-sport athlete, also playing football and basketball. Girls Field Athlete of the Year, Lila Ward of Arlington, set a Division IV state record in the high jump for the Arlington track and field team this spring. Her jump of 5 feet at the Division IV state championships beat the previous record of 4 feet 11 inches set last season by a Green Mountain athlete. She was also 2nd in the 200-meter dash at the Division IV meet and 3rd in the 100-meter that day. Lila is an all-state defender on the Eagles soccer team as well. Boys Tennis Player of the Year, Nick Pappas of Mount Anthony, was hard to beat for the Mount Anthony boys tennis team this spring. He was perfect, not losing one set until he finally lost during the Division I individual tournament. Nick played a critical role in MAU, earning the number 3 seed in Division I, where they made it to the state quarterfinals for the first time since 2010, falling to Burlington. Girls Tennis Player of the Year, Bobo Schwang of Mount Anthony. Congratulations to Bobo. And in ultimate, Nate Layler of Burr and Burton was a crucial piece for the Burr and Burton ultimate team that made it to the Division I state semifinals this year. Congratulations to Nate. So as we heard previously, the bio for our keynote speaker, Keith Willis, who's here with us this evening. So I now turn the podium over to Keith. Thank you.
Y'all hear me? We good? How's everybody doing? First, I just want to congrats to all the athletes. That's amazing. I mean, y'all sitting here with probably 500 awards, all these accolades. I was up here saying like, dang, I need to do better in life. So congratulations to all of y'all. That's really a huge accomplishment. Gotta give a shout out to all the parents though, because I know without y'all that would not be possible of getting all the sacrifice y'all make to get them to practices and games and staying up late night to get the homework done, and all my seniors who signed letter of intent to go to college. Much respect, guys. And so today I'm gonna talk to you. I'm not gonna take up a whole lot of your time, because I know people are hot. I'm hot too, but we're gonna make it through this thing, all right? But I wanna talk to you about a little bit about excellence. And I think it's like a perfect fitting, because today you saw literally probably 100 athletes cross the stage who had some type of excellence in the classroom and in the sport. And what I'm gonna talk to you about today is having excellence in every area of your life. I just remember 20 years ago this week, I was sitting in your seat getting ready to graduate high school, and I was very fortunate to receive a lot of awards as well. Now, it wasn't as cool as yours, but I was fortunate to receive a couple myself. But the one thing I remember when I was sitting there was this, that this was setting the foundation of excellence in my life. Because I knew to get these awards, this is what you had to go through, is that you had to be consistent and determined, no matter what, to compete at the highest level possible and to dominate. And when you're doing that day after day, night after night, on and off the field, you're setting a strong foundation of how your life's gonna shape out. Yet we have a better chance of life shaping out in the way you see fit. All right, when it comes to, I lost my notes here. Also, when it comes to excellence, understand this. I've been very fortunate to play at the highest level of football. Went to Virginia Tech, when I was leaving high school, I was a 3-sport athlete, football, basketball, track, All-American, all the sports. Was very fortunate to receive tons of scholarship offers in every sport. But when I chose Virginia Tech, what it did was I went from being the big fish in a little pond where I'm from in Virginia, then I get to a major D1 university playing football and basketball, and all of a sudden I had to work my way back up to the top. But what it did was establish a work ethic in me that I already had, but I had to take it to a different level because I had to compete at a higher level. But then once I went to the NFL, all of a sudden I was getting a small fish in a way bigger pond. All right, I wasn't the biggest, the fastest, strongest, or the smartest, but I had to find a way to compete every single day, because at that level, you're not on scholarship no more. At that level, the coach don't have to put you in the game. At this level, you're fighting for jobs and your livelihood. And so what I appreciate about that is, even though, yes, I played in the biggest stadiums, on all the TV, Sundays, Saturdays, all the good stuff, Thursday night football, but the one thing I remember the most about my time as an athlete is high school sports. That's what I take with me to this day. No matter, when I go back to my hometown of Virginia, the one thing that all my buddies get together, they may say, Keith, man, well, yeah, that game was great on Sunday, but you remember the time we played at school, in high school, we played our rivals? Remember the time we hit 40 points, like my brother hit 41 points one night? Congrats, that's big time, all right? Remember the time we had 40 points in the game, or 4 touchdowns in the game, or, we won this track meet? That's what we talk about the most. Not the college games we played in, not the NFL games. Even like in the NFL, allow us to get together. Know what we watch most of the time? Our high school highlight tapes. So I just want to tell you how special this moment is. So don't let this moment pass you by, guys. Take it in. I know it's also rushed to grow up and go do major things, and you will, but appreciate this time with your family and your friends, especially the guys and the women you play with in the locker room, because when this time is gone, it's gone. I know a lot of us, especially the parents, we can remember the times we was in high school. It's like, if we could just be 16 to 18 years old again in the locker room with our friends, how special would that be? And so, as we move on, I want to talk about, to achieve excellence, you have to be willing to go through some adversity. You heard the young lady speak earlier about some things she had to keep coming back from. Let me tell you something she said very true. Adversity will never stop, but you will continue to get stronger. You will continue to get stronger. I really believe by every test you go through, it's only preparing you for your next test. But what you have to remember as you go through that adversity, if you remember moments like this in high school, when either you swimming in the meet, it's a 4th down play, you got to make a play, it's 22 goals in the last 3 games or something like that. Guys, when you had to make a play, and we had to overcome, we had to fight back and score a goal in overtime to win a soccer match. Whenever that adverse situation was, remember that situation, because at that time we had to compete and find a way to win in that moment. You did it. So when you get in life, it's the same exact thing. You have to find sometimes you have to compete literally and figure out how to win in this moment. But let me tell you, I love adversity because it always tests who you are as a person. A lot of, we had this thing, we play ball. A lot of people look good in shorts and t-shirts. And a lot of people look good running around the field. Socks all to the knees, the cleats, the really fancy shirts tied up in the back, the guy who could shoot 3-pointers from all over the court. But all of a sudden, that game time came, and that clock started running, and somebody punched you in the mouth. All of a sudden, you find out how good somebody really was. Let me tell you something. Life will punch you in the mouth multiple times. And at that moment, you're going to find out who you really are, and wherever you are, don't be okay with it. Strive to get better. I have not won every fight in my life. I have not won every match, every game, every possession in my life. But I have persevered through every single one of them, no matter what. Through that perseverance is what you create with excellence. So understand, don't run away from adversity. Stand up to it, face it, and smile with it. Because understand, when you get through it, it's not about you, because your story is going to save somebody else. Your story will encourage somebody else. Think about the times in your life where you talk to your family and they said, don't do this because I already done that before. Everybody shook their head like, yeah. Understand, as you're going through things, my guy who had a comeback, my other brother who was wrestling, who had a fight through with his house burning down, if you could come up and wake up in the middle of the night and come out with your house burning down, save your family, come back and still win, I think, 200 matches on the mat or something like that, that's a winner. That's excellence. So I have a lot of respect for the stories I heard today. As you're competing for excellence, there's one main thing I don't want you to ever forget. Don't ever, ever lose integrity while competing for excellence. There's going to be times when you're competing and there's going to be ways you take shortcuts. You may get cheat something, nobody will see it. There'll be times you probably could take advantage of somebody that's not in the game. There can be times where people will offer you an easier way out. But let me tell you something, the way you do something is the way you do everything. Integrity will get you very, very far in this life. Competing with integrity is probably one of the hardest things to do because a lot of times, all we want to do is win. And we'll win at all costs. And that's an important skill to have, but also going to be a curse as well. So I want to encourage you, no matter what area of your life you're in, compete with integrity. Compete with excellence, but do not lose the integrity of who you are. Don't sell yourself short. To all my athletes in the room, touch the line every time you run your suicides. Show up to the weight room on time. Do the right thing when your coaches and parents aren't there. But more importantly, because when you do the right thing, you're setting the tone for the people around you. And that's what you can be remembered for forever. Also, as we continue to compete for excellence, I want to talk about competing in every single area of your life. Not only in athletics, but also in academics. Forgot the person who came up here, they had like you said, 98 point, like a radio station, 3 sports. Like, goodness gracious, like, how do you find the time to do it? Whoever you are, congratulations on that. That's awesome, man. But let me tell you something. Compete in academics. Compete for your health. Strive for your spirituality. And strive in business. But more importantly, your spirituality. As you leave high school, you go to college, you have a lot of things that challenge you. But every single day you wake up, I want you to think of one thing. Just win the day. When you focus on winning the day, a lot of times we have these big goals, and you should have big goals. I got major goals. We all got major goals. You should have major goals. But the major goals don't get done if you can't win the day. For me, I talk about win the moment. As I think about athletics, I never thought about, of course you want to win the championship and everything, but the one thing I always pride myself on, I wanted to win the next play. I wanted to win the possession. I wanted to win the game, win the quarter, then win the half, and then win the game. Then win the next game. one step at a time, one block at a time, until a championship is won. Academics, win that classroom, win that test, win that quiz, win in that moment, and start stacking your wins up. The end result will take care of itself. As we get older, trust me, I wish I could be in shape I was at 18 to 22 again. I'm not, all right? But what I will say is it's a different type of fight. Now you gotta win in health. You gotta take care of yourself, eat right, continue to work out, continue to take care of your mental health. All that stuff is extremely important, because at one point or another, let me tell you one thing I've learned from working with athletes all over the world. One day, this ball will go flat. Meaning, one day your time will be done playing sports. I don't care how great you think you are. Your time will be, at one point, your time's gonna be done. But where people struggle the most is the transition when that time is done. A lot of times, that's when the mental and the physical health elements kick up. So what I want to encourage you to do right now, as you're continuing to play sports, if some of you, high school is going to be it, some of you, college will be it, some of you after the Olympics or professional sport will be it. Whenever it's it for you, find something you love to do. Not something that's going to pay you a lot, but to find something you're passionate about. Because when you find something you're passionate about and something you love to do, the money will follow you. Understand that. I never in my life chased money. I've always chased purpose. But when I chased purpose, money chased me. We don't get told that a lot as teenagers, but I just want to encourage you, as you're trying to find yourself in life, find something you love to do, something that's bigger than you. Something that's going to encourage you to get up out the bed every single day and work beyond yourself. That right there will cut down a lot of mental issues, a lot of physical issues, elements in your body, because you find something that makes you happy every single day you wake up. Does that make sense? When you're competing in business, a lot of you can be great businessmen and women. You have to do a lot of business with people to get along in life. Don't shortcut in business. Make sure your character is always shown in the right light. Make sure you do things. When people come at you in business and cross you, let me tell you something. As hard as it is, surrender yourself and take the high road. Stand up for yourself, but surrender and take the high road. I've taken the high road so many times in life, but let me tell you something. Me consistently taking the high road in life has paid me fortunes. Not just in revenue, but just not with people in my life, of relationships, of mental well-being. But more importantly, as you attack excellence, attack your spirituality, whoever you pray to, whoever your focus is on. Let me tell you something. Without that, you don't have anything. And something in your life eventually will get your attention to go back to that, because at the end of the day, your spirituality is going to be the core of who you are. As I conclude here, you have a chance right now and in the future to leave a legacy of excellence. Understand your time here on earth is very short. We've seen people go at birth, first 18 years, first 30 years, 50 years. We don't know when our time is up here. That's why you have to make every day count. When your time is done, what are people going to say about you? Because your body may be gone, but your legacy will live forever. The way you compete on the field every single day, the way you compete in practice, the way you compete at home, and the way you compete in life is what people will talk about every single day when your time is up here. People ain't gonna talk about how much money you made, but they will talk about how many lives you affected through your excellence that you strive for every single day. Bennington, all that Bennington athletes, congratulations, much respect, and God bless you all.
Keith, thank you very much. That was very inspirational. I can say on behalf of myself, I'm sure for everyone else, I think he hit every major point there is, right? Mental health, physical, spirituality, being good people, working hard, dedication. That's what it's all about. So thank you for inspiring all of us. That was great. We must be nearing the end because I feel like I've just lost my voice. So I think we are rounding it up here. I'd like to invite Fred back to award the Sandy Casey Scholarship.
Keith is a tough act to follow. And excellence is a tough act, but that's what we're here for. Because we're going to shift gears from celebrating athletic achievement to celebrating human achievement. Some of you may know this, what I'm about to say, some of you may not know. But Sandy Casey was born and raised in East Dorset. She was an outstanding student and a basketball player at Burn Burton Academy in Manchester. She received degrees from the College of St. Joseph and Assumption College. And then she pursued a career in special education until she was tragically and senselessly killed in a mass shooting in Las Vegas, Nevada on October the 1st, 2017. Shortly after she died, the Bennington Banner, the Manchester Journal, established the Sandy Casey Scholarship to honor her memory. Or as a member of the scholarship committee said to me, to respond to bad with good. The scholarship is designed to help a local student who reflects Sandy Casey's positive attitude, her commitment to teamwork, and interest in early child education. The Scholarship Award Committee consisted of Attorney Thomas Jacobs of Bennington, Leslie Keefe of Southwestern Vermont Medical Center, David LaChance, editor of the Bennington Banner, myself, and most importantly, Steve Casey, Sandy's dad, who's here with her mom, Terry, in the front of the room. Now, this year's recipient is another Burn Burton alumna who will be attending Fairfield University this fall. And she's going to major in special education. Special education is where Sandy Casey made her career as well. And then you heard a little bit about her because she also won an award tonight for her lacrosse excellence. But in addition to that, she had a stellar academic record at Burn Burton Academy, and she's truly demonstrated her commitment to service, which was one of the hallmarks of Sandy's brief but important life. Now, one of her teachers wrote, "I find it remarkable that a young woman puts the needs of others before her own." And it was that commitment to service that led to the unanimous choice for the 2019 Sandy Casey Scholarship to be awarded to Cassie Pierce of Bend, Vermont. Ladies and gentlemen. The scholarship is $2,500 to be used to defray her expenses at Fairfield. Good luck to you and to your life. Thank you, Ron. It won't be long now.
All right, so to round out our evening, I will turn things back over to Adam 1 and Adam 2. It's better than thing 1 and thing 2, right?
I've been called worse, Andrew. All right, we'll go over here. All right. Our last awards of the evening, our first one is our Boys Coach of the Year. Our boys coach led the Arlington boys soccer team to its first state championship since 1995, capped off by an overtime goal by Lewis Whalen. The Eagles went into the postseason at 8-6 and won all 3 games, allowing 0 goals. to capture the title. His team's defense was also hard to beat as they had 8 shutouts. John Werner's protege finally won the big one. Our boys' coach of the year is Arlington's Todd Wilkins. And also don't go anywhere because our team of the year for the boys is the Arlington boys soccer team. Oh, if anyone else is here from Arlington boys soccer, come up for a picture as well. If there is anybody. I know there's a couple.
All right, moving now to our girls' coach of the year. So our girls' coach of the year helped the Cambridge girls basketball team to its first state title in program history in his first year as head coach. With a team filled with mostly sophomores and freshmen, he got the Indians over the state semifinal hump to go 25-1 and to bring home the title. Under his watch, Cambridge had multiple all-state players and the Class C state tournament MVP. Our girls' coach of the year is Cambridge girls basketball's Bob Phillips. And Bob, if you would just stay there, our girls' team of the year is the Cambridge girls basketball team. So if there's anybody from the Cambridge girls basketball team, feel free to come up.
Another round of applause. And the craziest thing about them, like Adam said, is that they have so many underclassmen. It's like Cambridge girls basketball on the map for a while, so keep an eye out. 2 awards left. I know it's hot. Female Athlete of the Year. This is the big one. Our Female Athlete of the Year is a 3-sport athlete that the word leadership is built upon. She was a midfielder and captain on the Mount Anthony girls soccer team, providing a spark with her ability to set up teammates and even put a few in the back of the net herself. She was a starting guard for the Patriots girls basketball team, where she could stretch the floor with her 3-point ability while playing swarming defense. In the spring, she was the captain of the softball team, hitting in the number 3 spot in the Mount Anthony lineup. Her ability to hit for power and provide great defense at short helped lead the Patriots to a 13-5 record. She's going to RPI in the fall. They're getting a good one. Our Female Athlete of the Year is Mount Anthony's Catherine Worthington. Go Red.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. That was forceful. All right, congratulations.
All right, our last award of the night is the Male Athlete of the Year. So the Male Athlete of the Year is another 3-sport athlete who thrived in everything he did this year. During the fall, he took over at quarterback and dominated opposing defenses through the air and on the ground till he burned Burton to a state championship. In the winter, he returned to the ice after a year playing basketball and was the top goal scorer for the Bulldogs boys hockey team. He capped off his stellar year with an all-around effort on the baseball diamond, providing quality innings on the mound and great defense in center field while hitting in the middle of the BBA batting order. And he also, another thing he did off the field, he helped bring the unified basketball to BBA, which is something the school hadn't had. And was it the first in Vermont? First one to BBA to do that, and helped them compete as well. So our male athlete of the year is Burton's Joey McCoy.
After we get done, we want to make sure that we get Kat and Joey together to get some photos as well, so don't go anywhere.
While they're posing for photos, I want to take another minute and thank everyone for coming. I want to thank Keith and Andrea. I think they both did such a great job. To all the coaches and athletes and parents, thank you. And most especially to our sponsors, Southern Vermont Medical Centers, Bennington Subaru, Bennington College, our table sponsors. And I wanted to make one more mention. All the trophies you're going home with are from Big Butterfly up in Manchester, Vermont. So stop in, thank Ross, and yep, I'm getting to it. The other thing I wanted to mention, I don't want to take all that stuff on the table home. Leave the centerpieces, please. We're doing this again tomorrow night. But take the glasses, take the pads, take the pens, take it all. And if there are any ADs out there or coaches can take the trophies for people who weren't here tonight, come on up and see me. Thanks and have a great evening. What?
Keith is asking for you. Okay.